Welcome back. We're continuing our conversation with Rabbi Yitzchak Evan Shaish from the Rav Kook Center in Jerusalem. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello, shalom.
Shalom. So now let's continue. We started with the personal and the national layer of Rav Kook's Hanukkah message. Let's get to the universal. What did he have to say?
Well, the universal, he taught that we can see by the way we do the Chanukah candle lighting that there is a universal teaching, is that we start from one light and we add up to 8 lights, and 8 is sort of the numerical equivalent of the infinite. We reach from the finite to the infinite, but it's by each pure being lighting their candle. And it's not by all of us being one big candle all the same, but it's all, we have to light each individual candle, and candle here meaning idealism to good, wanting to do really good. That's what we want to kindle into the world. And that all the different lights that everybody does for the world of good, that is actually, because as we say in the blessing, we're kindling the light of Chanukah by kindling the infinite lights. It's all, and then ends up being united into one light, and we've really being able to bring great illumination into the world.
And especially, you know, with Hanukkah, you know, there's Hanukkah menorahs lit somewhere around the world at all times because of the different time zones. So I imagine that has something to do with it, is that everyone's doing it the same day but at a different time. So there isn't anywhere on the planet that doesn't experience that during this time.
And what a great blessing. It's that this is part of our challenge, opportunity, and responsibility as Israel to be great illumination in the world.
Right. Now, many people say, and I think people wouldn't argue, that the state of Israel is a miracle, like its own Hanukkah miracle. So based on the time of Rav Kook, I know that he was chief rabbi from 1921 until he passed away in the 30s, and it was, you know, during the British Mandate in Israel. What were some of his teachings about Hanukkah that kind of correlate to where we are now, the progress that we've made to, you know, to continue to bring light to the world?
Well, he said that we're very much in that stage now, that we need to touch the heroism of the Maccabees with a real zealousness for holy action, in order to deal with all the bad that there is in the world. We have to, the reason for good is to transform the bad. Right. That's the challenge of good.
And that's an energetic thing. It isn't necessarily convincing somebody to say something nice on Instagram.
It's by increasing the light. It's by increasing the light and bringing everybody into the light, and it's by adding holiness and adding goodness, not by fighting.
Exactly. So from the writings, I know you've read, you know, Rav Kook's, he was a great poet. He was a Renaissance man. What, you know, in his experiences, you know, in Israel, I know he spent a lot of time in, you know, what is now Neve Tzedek, not just Jerusalem. You know, what did he have to say just about the experience of being here at that time?
What he said is that we have to understand, again, it was very connected to Hanukkah, is that right now what's happening is all the pure cruises of oil that have been tainted in all sorts of ways, but the pure inner essence of holiness that's in Israel, it's coming back. We're all coming back to Israel, and in our collective effort, and each one of us really in giving our greatest efforts to whatever we're drawn to doing good with, that we do collectively, Israel will really stand up and be a great illumination in the world.
So do you feel, do you have reason to believe, you know, after, you know, we've had 2 years of the world being kind of in buffering mode, do you feel this is also part of the ingathering of light, that we've had
we have to deal with
a global pause where we have to actually look at ourselves?
Well, that's the bad things happen in order that the good does something about it. So we see the situation now, it's chaos and suffering. We have to develop a planetary, a universal health system. We really have to treat all humankind differently. Otherwise, we're all going to
continue the same patterns
and continue
cycle
to suffer together. Whereas we have the beautiful teaching of Chanukah is that from this little light, the whole temple can be rebuilt.
Yeah.
And so it's really a matter of our commitment to doing good. If our commitment is strong enough, then there's nothing that can stop us.
Right, right. Thank you again, my friend, for joining us. And
Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach to you as well.